It has been more than a year since WHO has declared SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus as a pandemic. This virus has infected more than 17 crore people worldwide. And because of this virus, approximately 4 crore people have lost their lives. In India, only 3 crore people approximately has been infected by this virus. But who is to blame? ये जानने के लिए वीडियो को पूरा देखना, उससे पहले ये जान लो कि मैं कौन हूँ। Hi, my name is Akash Nagi. I'm an actor, writer, engineer, a content creator, a fitness enthusiast, and I welcome you all to this channel. China, a country which has doomed the entire world. Every finger directly or indirectly points towards China for not acknowledging the virus and its deadly nature. China could have stopped the outbreak of this virus in Wuhan only, but they have not done that. The most important thing which has to be discussed whether this virus is all natural or it is man-made. There are speculations around the world that this virus happened because of a lab leak from Wuhan Institute of Virology, meaning that this pandemic is not a coincidence. It can be a strategic move played by China so as to avoid its conflicts. Conflicts including Uyghurs, relationship with Taiwan, Hong Kong, allegations because of One Belt, One Road initiative, and of course the trade war with USA. One Belt, One Road initiative. From 206 BC to 220 BC, during Han Dynasty, a trade route was developed, which connected various regions in commerce. And this route was known as Silk Road Route. Silk Road route was stretched from China to India, Mesopotamia, Greece, African continent, Rome, and Britain. This initiative is done so as to replicate that route. This project includes vast network of railways, energy pipelines, highways, and streamlined border crossing infrastructure connecting East Asia to Europe. More than 60 countries have showed their interest in this project. China has experienced a rapid growth from 1980s to early 2000s. But the Great Recession of 2008 had a great impact on China's economic growth. This initiative is a counter to the status quo USA as a world power under pivot to Asia slogan, which will boost the Chinese economy. Objectives of One Belt, One Road initiative. Cultural exchange and integration. Creation of unified large markets for domestic and international consumption. Creating an innovative environment with capital inflow, talent pool, and technology database. But China is doing something else, keeping this at the face of One Belt, One Road initiative. Chinese loans. If any developing country is not able to sponsor the construction of that infrastructure, then China is willing to give them loans. But the contract of those construction have to be given to Chinese companies, which means no local job creations, no business boost for that developing country. China is benefiting from both sides, from financing those projects and the construction of those projects, while the developing country will bear the financial risks. If the developing country is not able to pay back, then the China will acquire the controlling rights. This theory is known as debt trap. For example, Sri Lanka. China has invested in Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka is not able to pay back these Chinese loans, because of which China has acquired the controlling rights of Hambantota Port. Sri Lanka has to give the rights of Hambantota Port to Chinese companies because of the debt trap. Pakistan, who has very limited choices for foreign aid, so they have to depend on Chinese investment. CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It is a part of One Belt, One Road initiative, CPEC, intended to promote the connectivity between western part of China and Pakistan. CPEC passes through POK, a disputed territory which Pakistan claims that it is under Pakistan's control, but India claims that it is a part of J&K. China has gained 40% exclusive rights to run Gwadar port for next 40 years. And this is all happening because of the debt trap created by One Belt, One Road initiative. Another country, Tajikistan, who has to give China 1,158 kilometers of their Pamir mountains because of the debt trap. People's Republic of China, a communist country controlled by Chinese Communist Party. Censorship. It all started in 2008 when TNS Global Interactive statistics are revealed. Chinese users are more active than any other country's users on the internet. Then Kai Mingzhou of CCP, Chinese Communist Party, emphasizes that online media should have some guidelines. These guidelines includes that online media of all forms must have a correct guidance, creating a favorable online opinion environment for the building of a harmonious society. After this, thousands of internet police deployed in the country. Tens of thousands of websites were blocked. Users' access were denied for various websites. Paid commentators were enlisted, who guides anti-government conversation to a pro-government conversation. This filtering system of China is known as the Great Firewall of China. If any internet service providing company does not comply with the government's guideline, then the license of those companies will be cancelled. Chinese agencies which censors their citizens. The General Administration of Press and Publication. This agency drafts and regulates the restraints regulations. State Administration of Radio, Film and TV. This agency controls and censors the content for radio, film and TV. Ministry of Information Industry. This agency regulates Chinese Telecommunication Software Agency and Internet related services. State Council Information Office. This agency promotes Chinese media at a global level. This agency is also responsible for the news posted on the internet. Central Propaganda Department. This agency works with GAPP and SARFT to monitor content. Ministry of Public Security monitors and filters the content on the internet and punishes those who speak. General Administration for Customs. This agency collects books, videos and other information which China does not want to be inside their border. State Secrecy Bureau. This agency enforces secrecy laws which are used to punish people who write undesirable content. There are some examples where we can see the involvement of these agencies. China kicked out 3 Wall Street Journal reporters after the journal published an op-ed about China that spoke about the risks of China's system of government poses to the world. China blocked access to the New York Times website after the Times published about the wealth of a Chinese Communist Party's member. Disinformation, censorship and propaganda are the pillars of Chinese Communist Party's grand strategy. Uyghurs, a Turkic Muslim community which resides in the northwestern part of China. The population of 12 million people known as Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. They speak their own language similar to Turkish and they are culturally different from the Han Chinese. Like Tibet, it is autonomous, meaning that they have some self-governing power, but in practice they have a lot of restrictions from the central government. Significance of Xinjiang. This region produces about a fifth of world's cotton. It is also rich in oil and minerals. Human rights groups believes that China has detained more than 1 million Uyghurs in the detention centers, but Chinese government defined those centers as a re-education camp. 380 detention centers are running at a direct internal order where Uyghurs are culturally transformed. China interconnected. Hong Kong. Hong Kong was ruled by China until 1840. Then British Empire took over the region. From 1941 to 1945, during World War II, Japanese ruled this region. In 1984, UK and China signed a Sino-British deal that Hong Kong will be a part of China on 1st of July 1997. But the current social and economic system and the lifestyle of Hong Kongers will remain same for the next 50 years, which is until 2047. Hong Kong will continue to operate in a capitalist economy and the citizens will have a right to speech, press, assembly and religious beliefs along with other rights until 2047. This comes under one nation, two policies or two systems. Since 2003, rights of Hong Kongers are breached one way or another. Mainland China tried to implement their way of thinking, their thought process, their culture on Hong Kong. In April of 2019, the extradition bill was passed. This bill allowed criminals, suspects to be extradited to mainland China under certain circumstances where the trials will happen. There was fear among Hong Kongers that this bill will target activists, journalists and they will have an unfair trial in the mainland China. This resulted in mass protests. Taiwan. In 1895, Qing dynasty lost Taiwan to Japan. and Japan ruled it for 50 years. In 1949, Taiwan was returned to the Republic of China, but the Republic of China lost the civil war against the Chinese Communist Party. Hence, Taiwan becomes a regime in exile. In 1971, Beijing took over the place in UN against Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, and everything changed. In 1996, China tested missiles of Taiwan so as to deter the voters in their first democratic election. In 1999, Taiwan unilaterally ending a state of war with China. From 2008 to 2014, relation between them improved as formal talks were taking place. But in 2016, when Tsai Ing-wen won the elections, her speech includes that democracy is ingrained in Taiwanese people. After this, China suspended all communications with Taiwan. Tension rises up to breaching the limits on both ends. Taiwan refuses one country, two systems. China has stopped issuing the permit of individual travel in 2019 to Taiwan, and Chinese jet fighters seen crossing the Taiwan Strait Median in 2019. US-China trade war. US alleges that China practices unfair trade with US, pointing to a trade deficit in China's favor, stealing of intellectual property, and forced transfer technology to China. Tariffs were imposed by USA on 6th of July 2018, and after that, 4 rounds of tit for tat. A full-scale trade war was enforced between two countries. Negotiations were delayed, and domestic and international tensions were rising. Chinese Communist Party is facing a lot at this time. In 2019, these conflicts regarding One Belt, One Road initiative, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Uyghur, US trade war, everything was cooking up and everything has reached a high limit. Then China has to do something so as to get rid of all of this at once. 2019 was the year when China was pressurized. Since 1979, China has not fought a single war, but they are getting their way through diplomacy. This time, China has fought a war, a biological war, the unnatural origin of SARS, and a new species of man-made viruses as biological weapon. Document written by Chinese military scientists and Chinese medical officials. These documents were obtained by US officials, and these documents were written in 2015. These documents states that bioweapon attack will cause enemy's medical system to collapse. Dr. Li Mengyan, she has translated these documents from Chinese to English. These documents were verified by forensics. Some are saying the virus has originated naturally, but the protein spike on this virus is edited manually. This can be a reason for the mutation of this virus in India, UK and Vietnam. Some are relating its similarity with RATG13 virus. RATG13, a bat-originated coronavirus, which is 96% similar with SARS-CoV-2. Whether this virus is leaked intentionally or by mistake, it has proved to be very effective. But no one is able to give the answer whether it is natural or it is man-made. Millions of people have lost their lives. Millions have lost their jobs. Businesses have been shut down. If China wanted, then they could have controlled the virus in China itself. But they have not done that. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel.